NAMI of Northern Illinois needs volunteers to let people know about mental health resources. WIFR reporter Bria Walters talks to NAMI's outreach coordinator about why volunteers are so important to building quality mental health care.
One of the things that's very important when you're dealing with mental health issues is not to go it alone.
Training volunteers to help its mission is the purpose of National Alliance on Mental Illness's monthly orientations. According to NAMI, 1 in 20 U.S. adults will experience serious mental illness each year.
Making sure that people have the training to know how to tell people what the right resources are. We have lots of programs, support groups, and educational offerings that help.
Coordinators admit working with people on mental health sounds scary, but local therapist Kevin Polke says volunteers get the proper training.
They all do a great job in helping prepare or train individuals to be a volunteer, right? So you don't have to come in and know what to do.
Warren Boykin with NAMI says the meetings cover policies, safety procedures, and role-specific training to help people involved become a safe shoulder to lean on.
We want people to be familiar with those policies and procedures before they're held responsible when they go out and meet the public.
Polke says mental health support can be hard to come by, so these organizations are vital.
Being able to want to give back through volunteering in some of these organizations, I think is a great way not only to help continue your growth and development, but then also obviously for people that are receiving that help.
In Rockford, Bria Walters, WIFR News.
Boykin says 8 of 12 spots are taken for the first meeting. If all goes well, they will continue each month. For more information, you can go to WIFR.com.